Hello again, my name is Mr. Hearn and I am your TOEFL tutor. Here are 5 tips that you need to know to pass your TOEFL IBT reading section. Let's take a look. Tip number 1. If you didn't already know, the new TOEFL IBT reading section has 2 modules. In Module 1, you'll have 20 questions, but you'll only have 11.5 minutes to answer those 20 questions. In Module 2, there'll be only 15 questions, but you'll have only 9 minutes to answer those questions. Now, if this has you freaking out, let me just tell you that it is possible for you to answer all of the questions quickly and accurately, as long as you have familiarity with the test and you've practiced sufficiently. Now, let me give you a little bonus tip that'll help you to answer all the questions in the reading section on time, and that is in the first task where you have the paragraph and you have to fill in the blanks for the words. Make sure you can complete that task in 4 minutes or less. It may seem hard at first, but as you practice with familiarity and the rules, you will be able to finish that task, and that'll give you breathing room for answering the rest of the questions in that section. Let's continue with tip number 2. Tip number 2, some questions are designed to steal your time. Now, on the new TOEFL IBT, there are easy, medium, hard, and tricky level questions. Now, the easy ones are easy. The questions are direct, and the information is easy to find in a passage, and it's impossible to get it wrong. The medium difficulty questions will be a little trickier because a lot of the choices will be designed to sound right, but they're wrong. So be careful that you use the rules of the test to eliminate wrong choices. Now, the hard questions are a little trickier and harder to understand, and it may be more difficult to find the information in the passage. You may have to read 2 choices, and then when you're looking at the answers, there may be more than one choice that seems right, and you'll have to debate a little bit. On the tricky ones don't follow the rules. The questions are hard to understand. The information in the passage is difficult to find because they use synonyms or other little phrases that kind of mean the same thing, and the choices don't seem right. So those, you're going to have to be prepared for how to answer those questions quickly and accurately. Now, let's move on to tip number 3. Tip number 3, Module 2 is computer adaptive. You must get 65% or higher accuracy on Module 1 to pass your TOEFL. Okay, so you may have heard that Module 2 is computer adaptive, but did you know that if you don't get 65% or higher in Module 1, you'll get only easy questions in Module 2, and no matter if you get those all right, you're still going to get a level 3 or 3.5 for the reading section. This is something that you want to be aware of and be careful of. When you're practicing, make sure that in Module 1, you're answering 85 to 95% of the questions accurately, so that when you get into Module 2, yes, you will get a little bit harder level questions, but when you're finished, you should be scoring at a 5.5 or 6 for your reading section. Now let's look at tip number 4. Tip number 4, there is no academic passage in Module 2. Hey, just when you thought it was going to be all bad news, I come out with some good news. In Module 2, there will be no academic passage. So no long reading and no 5 confusing questions to have to answer in Module 2. All right, let's look at tip number 5. Tip number 5, everything you need to know is on the test. You know, I love ending my videos on a positive note, and this is really good news. Everything you need to know is on the test. Over the years, I've heard so many tutors teaching students that they have to study all the different subjects that could be on the TOEFL and be prepared, but none of that was ever true. In fact, if you know something about the passage that you're reading, forget everything you know, because the TOEFL is modified from the real world. Everything you need to know is on the test. So when you're answering questions, especially in the academic passages, Use only the information that they give you to answer the questions. This makes it so much easier to practice and to study. You only have to study the structures and rules on your TOEFL IBT. Now, if you made it this far, thank you very much. It's really going to help you. Speaking of helping you, I have my online TOEFL course that is 100% complete. You can go to the link in the description below, and you can subscribe to my online TOEFL course. And I teach you step by step in simple, easy to understand American language, how to answer every single question on the new TOEFL IBT. I teach you all the tips and tricks that you need to know so that when you take your TOEFL, you'll end up scoring at a band 5 or 6. And that's what it's all about. Let's pass this thing and get on with living a successful life.